Helga from Helga's Pennsylvania Cooking, and today I'm going to show you how to make homemade mayonnaise. You can make this at home. You have all the stuff probably already in your fridge and or pantry, and it's not that difficult. Plus you can customize it with different flavors to kick it up a notch. So if you're wondering about mayo, and you know I like to know the history of my food, right? So mayo was actually first really talked about back in France in 1756. Commercially, it started out in here in the USA in Philly around 1907. A lady named Amelia Schlorer sold it at her husband's deli, and it was sold as Mrs. Schlorer's salad dressing. Then, not long after, about the same time, at Richard Hellman's delicatessen, a German family, the wife had her own homemade salad dressing, and they started to sell it in 1912 commercially, and it took off. And in 1926, Hellman's Mayonnaise was born. It should be noted that there's a difference between mayo and Miracle Whip. Miracle Whip was a less expensive alternative to mayo when they started producing it around the 30s, 1933. And what sets it apart is Miracle Whip does not have enough oil in it to meet the standards of being called a mayonnaise. It tends to also be a little bit sweeter and spicier. I like both. Some say it was invented in Salem, Illinois, at Max Crossett's Cafe as Max Crossett's extra fine salad dressing. So there you learned a little bit about mayo and a little bit about Miracle Whip and the differences, but today I'm doing mayo. So let's get to it. Recipes, there's a lot of different recipes out there. This is actually an old one, actually from Mike's Aunt Cass. And I know this cake, I think, came out of one of her old books, and God, that went back to the 50s, 40s or 50s. So cream, some recipes call for milk, but cream, oil, egg yolks, a little salt, a little vinegar, and some sugar. And as usual, I'll have the amounts in the description below. So the first part, I'm going to put in my egg yolks, and I'm going to drizzle in my oil. Let's see if you can see here. Drizzle in my oil while whisking vigorously. You see how that's blending together. We're trying to create emulsification. Now, I'm going to turn on my stove, and I'm going to put it on low heat, and I'm going to start adding my cream. Cream is added. I'm going to add my salt, my sugar, quick whisk that in, and I'm slowly going to drizzle in my vinegar, and I used apple cider vinegar, but you can use white, doesn't matter. I just like using apple cider. And like I said, you want to drizzle this in slow because you don't want it to curdle or separate on you. And you gotta keep whisking it. And we want to do that until it just comes up to a boil. Some recipes, if they want it thicker, will also add flour. And as you can see, this thickened up. It just came to a boil, and we're going to take it off and let her cool. So one thing I want you to take notice of this, I want you to see, okay, so there's a smooth part of the jar. I want you to see how this looks, how that is all one product, creamy, still cooling, but it's all creamy, no separation. You do not want to see any separation of layers or particles, none of that. This should all be one smooth, creamy consistency. I have seen other people do it, make homemade mayos, and I'll see separation and everything else. That means they didn't properly incorporate the oil into the egg, and it's always the oil into the egg very slowly and the drizzle, constantly whisking. I was whisking the whole time. It only took a couple of minutes for that to come up to a slow boil, and the slow boil will also kill any salmonella and stuff, so you don't have raw eggs. That takes care of the bacteria issue for your eggs in it, for that component. So I just wanted to go over that so that you saw that this is the way it's supposed to look. And this is a little bit more yellow than what you're probably used to, but for two reasons. One, I used my own home chicken eggs, which are just a really deep orangey gold because they're free range and fed the best yummy stuff. And also because I used apple cider vinegar, which is darker than a white or clear vinegar. So the other day, I made my homemade mayo, and it came out really nice. And you're going to see how nice. One of the ways we actually eat mayo around here is on red beet eggs. So I made up a jar of my red beet eggs here. And for those wondering how I make them up, well, you know, I did that video of how I can beets. I take our canned beets that I did up, and then I go and put my eggs in a jar with the beet juice and a few beets that I'd already done up, pickled and spiced, and you got red beet eggs. And just to show you the pretty color on them, oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So we're going to take a little mayo here. Now look how nice that came out. See? No emulsion, no separation. And we're just going to spread some on our eggs. And well, you know what comes next. So here are my eggs. And these are something I normally, well, I make them all year round, but we normally serve them also at Easter. And you're going to be seeing this Easter Sunday. So this is one of the things that we're going to have on my table. Always something special, and it's always so festive for the holidays. But they're also just really, really good. And I used to add apple cider vinegar, so that gave the mayo a little different taste than if you use plain vinegar. But it's pretty awesome. So, here we go. Oh my god. That's really good. That was so creamy. Oh my god, the richness of that mayo, that yolk. Oh, that's pretty dang good. It's almost like a different version of a deviled egg. Maybe a little better. Gotta have the other one, you know. It's lonely. And just so you can see the inside there, I think you can see it's a little shadowy, but you can see how nice that is. How nice and easy it's spread. So yeah, my homemade mayo. Give it a try. This is so easy. It takes no time, and you can customize it. You can add peppers or other things to give it all kinds of wonderful notes. So give it a try. You saw how easy it was, and it'll really amp up your sandwiches, your salads, whatever you choose to use, and you can customize them yourself. Like I said, add peppers, add herbs, whatever you like. So, have a happy Easter, and enjoy. Like, subscribe, and join me next time here in Helga's Pennsylvania Cooking.